I'm Haley Taylor, and you're listening to the Rough Draft Diaries. This week on the Rough Draft Diaries, we're scheduled to meet the Ruth Bader Ginsburg of Toledo, Ohio. At least that's how she was nominated.
If I had to be honest, the two words that most accurately describe my job are social work.
But we're not talking to a social worker today. Instead, we'll meet Judge Michelle Wagner, a Toledo Municipal Court judge who has just begun her second term after starting her first term in 2011. In general, she hears civil cases with less than $15,000 at issue. That could mean traffic offenses and misdemeanor criminal cases. It could be housing or environmental cases that enforce health and safety codes. It could even be landlord or tenant issues. But Judge Michelle Wagner uses a different terminology to describe her job.
In the context of my position, I feel that society takes all of its ills and dumps them at my feet and says, Judge Wagner, fix this. We see the ravages of all these social ills in our court. Whether you come in as a defendant or a victim, everyone looks to the judge to fix it and the criminal justice system to fix these things. And we are not equipped to fix these things, right? I mean, think about what my job is. I decide guilt or innocence and a punishment. But in the context of it, people are here because they're addicted to drugs or because they have mental health issues, because they are victims of abuse. So that's why I say social work is a big aspect of my job.
And just like in social work, a profession where one attempts to enhance the well-being of an individual or family, Judge Wagner hopes she is able to offer a chance at success for the people who enter her courtroom.
So, for example, someone who's addicted to substance abuse and they're charged with possession or sometimes even selling, what I would do is place them on probation. Obviously, they need to comply with treatment. Those are the requirements. They need to stay out of trouble as well. And I tell them, this is what I'm giving you. I'm giving you a shot to beat this at home. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen if you fail. And this is the consequence if you violate. And the next step is to place them into custody, into our treatment program that's in custody. They start at our local jail, and then they complete a treatment program there. And when they're ready and I have a bed available, I'll step them down into an inpatient lockdown facility for treatment. And then when they complete that, then I'll place them back where they were at home on probation. So they leave here with a shot. They leave here with clear expectations. They understand what's expected of them, and they understand the consequences should they fail. They know I'm rooting for them, but they know I'm going to hold them accountable if they fail. Just try to make them understand that we want them to succeed. Here's what you have to do to succeed. Here's what will happen if you don't.
It's a common misconception that court judges are mean-spirited, unfeeling individuals, almost like a Judge Judy character. But it's really the opposite. Judge Wagner mentioned she experiences a wide range of emotions throughout her day. One moment she could be laughing, and the next she could be heartbroken.
The hardest days are people that you've worked with, and we call them repeat customers. You know, we see the same people over and over, and we give them chances, and then we put them in for a while and send them back out, and they get another charge, you know, and then again, back in. I mean, it's a process, right? There was a woman who was a frequent flyer named Molly, and Molly was a dual diagnosis person. She had mental health issues and substantial substance abuse issues, but no one tried as hard as Molly to get clean and to do the right thing. And when she would fail, she would cry in front of me. And I'm not talking those alligator tears. I mean, just true, I've let you down. I'm so disappointed in myself, tears. And she'd try again, and she did it. She got clean, and she came in a couple of years later in support of somebody. She wasn't charged, but she came in support of somebody. And I literally did not recognize her. She had to say, Judge Wagner, it's me, it's Molly. I could not believe how good she looked. I mean, it was a complete transformation. It was amazing. Wished her well. That was a couple of years ago. And she died last year of an overdose. Those are really hard days.
Mental health and drug abuse cases fill the majority of Judge Wagner's workload, which should not be a great surprise to local Toledoans as the opioid epidemic has hit Ohio particularly hard. It's in the news almost every week, whether local or national. And I talked to Judge Wagner about the opioid crisis, but we don't really have the time right here and now to start that conversation on the Rough Draft Diaries. What did permeate almost every single topic we discussed in our interview was Judge Wagner's motivation and insistence to see and treat each case with a sense of dignity and respect.
I think my perspective would be that most of the people that come here are good people in really bad circumstances. Whether, again, it's because of cycles of poverty, whether it's cycles of abuse of substances or alcohol, whether it's cycles of abuse of domestic violence, whether it's homelessness. They're good people that have made poor choices or done bad things, but I don't think they need to be defined by that. I would never want to be defined by my worst choice on my worst day, right? They're good people with problems. They're fun, they're intelligent, they're tragic, they're loving. They weren't always like this. They're very interesting people, and they're worthy of respect and dignity, as we all are.
For now, I'm Haley Taylor, and thanks for listening to this episode of the Rough Draft Diaries.